Oracle, and SoftBank.
Yeah, Ben, this is big. This is big. Stargate situation. What is that?
OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank just announced a massive deal with President Trump called Project Stargate. Despite the name, unfortunately this has nothing to do with intergalactic wormhole infrastructure. Their plan is to invest a staggering $500 billion in the United States to build the largest data centers the world has ever seen, for the sole purpose of churning out AI slop. To put this number in perspective, the US annual defense budget is $850 billion, but that pays for aircraft carriers, fighter jets, and space lasers. But there was someone who didn't get picked for the Stargate team, and he's feeling really bummed out right now. His name is Elon, and everyone seems to forget that he has an AI company too. He claims that SoftBank doesn't actually have the money secured, and says the whole
Which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building air infrastructure. Chat, guys, did OpenAI fall off though compared to other AI stuff? Chat, guys, I feel like they're like, no. Okay.
Stargate thing is fake. Sam Altman then came in with a famous high road clapback where he compliments Elon but says he's wrong and then invites him to come visit the project that's already underway. Then Sadia jumps in to back up Altman, saying he's good for his 80 billion.
I'm good for my 80 billion.
In today's video, we'll find out what the Stargate...
He invested how much?
Good for my 80 billion.
In today's video, we'll find out what the Stargate project really is and why you should be excited, but also terrified. It is January 23rd, 2025, and you're watching The Code Report. Project Stargate is an AI infrastructure project, where the goal is to invest $500 billion in the United States to build data centers. Now, this project is not actually funded by taxpayers, but instead will come from investors secured by the Japanese bank, SoftBank. Masayoshi Son is the money guy, Sam Altman is the gadgets guy, and Larry Ellison is the muscle. These data center facilities will require tons of energy, and Trump is the gas man who will get that done by using executive orders to divert power to get these things built, which they claim will create 100,000 new jobs, which will then be eliminated by AI when they finish building this thing. On the bright side, this project could make AI cheaper and more accessible, and they're really hyping up its medical benefits, where Larry Ellison said it will enable personalized medicine for everyone, and that it should be able to develop customized mRNA vaccines to cure cancer. Ellison is most well known as a champion sailor, but he also became one of the richest men in the world by creating the first commercial SQL database. He also owns my favorite programming language Java, and is fighting a legal battle with Dino to maintain control of the JavaScript trademark. But he also has a dystopian vision for society where everything is monitored by AI to keep citizens on their best behavior.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And we're using AI to monitor the video.
Okay, guys, I would almost be inclined to agree, but who defines and what is defined as good behavior though? And I find that to be the problem.
This vision will become a reality in the very near future.
Okay, chat, here's a crazy brain take it. In a perfect world, a lot of philosophies and systems, in my opinion, could actually work, right? Could it work in this world with the humans that we have these days? No, absolutely not.
Stargate currently has 10 data centers under construction in Abilene, Texas, and is expanding to more states soon. And what's interesting is that the government used to have a different Stargate project back in the 70s, which was a top secret CIA project to explore the possibility of psychic warfare. These names are no accident. Oracle sees the future, as Stargate is a portal to other dimensions, and OpenAI is the one who gets to open the portal. The timing is perfect because after years of saying OpenAI would definitely never go for profit, OpenAI just laid out plans to go for profit and give Sam Altman equity to make him billions of dollars richer. And that's surprising because he told Congress in 2023 he was doing it because he loves it.
Make a lot of money, do you?
I'm doing this because I love it.
Hey, he's kind of like me. He's kind of like me. He's kind of like me
right now because he's about to release Grok 3, which is a reasoning model like DeepSeek or O1, and based on this one biased example, could be superior to those models. Now, I might get in trouble with my Illuminati handler for telling you this, but all this drama and beefing is scripted and fake. Elon and Altman are bros who started OpenAI together. Ellison helped Elon buy Twitter. They're all connected to the PayPal mafia and Peter Thiel, whose protege JD Vance just became the vice president. He'll take over as president in 2027, but
I understand some of this. Chat, I feel like there's not a lot of people at the very top, right? And things are bound to be somewhat interconnected and look a certain way because these guys go to the same places, do the same endeavors, go to the same meetings, and things are just bound to be interconnected one way or the other. That's just what it goes.
Whose protege JD Vance just became the vice president. He'll take over as president in 2027, but is actually controlled by reptilians who have been alive since the Roman times. All roads lead to Rome, and that's why Elon did this autistic Roman salute.
Wait.
Who have been alive since the Roman times. All roads
Chat, is this true?
To Rome, and that's why Elon did this autistic Roman salute recently
Fake
to
picture.
mark the beginning of the tech bro dynasty that will reign supreme for the next 500 years. This has been the Code Report. I'm not suicidal. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, hold on a minute. What you said in there?
What you're looking at here is a 30-year-old man
Making my
condemned to die
bank
in prison
account.
after receiving 2 life sentences without parole for building a website with PHP. Ross Ulbricht is the world's most notorious web developer. He was feared by many as Dread Pirate Roberts on the dark web, and famous for building the Silk Road 1.0, a global marketplace kind of like Amazon, where you can buy and sell goods, with the main difference being that you don't have to follow any laws and you can do it anonymously. Not following the law is a good way to make a lot of money, but you take on the added risk of going to prison, and Ross Ulbricht saw the downside of that risk when the FBI seized the Silk Road in 2013 and put him in jail for life. But despite Donald Trump saying that drug dealers should get the death penalty, he gave Ross Ulbricht a full unconditional pardon yesterday. In today's video, we'll look at the crazy story and interesting technical details behind the Silk Road. It is January 22nd, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. Before we get into the Silk Road story, we first need to get one thing perfectly clear.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay?
Because it followed no laws and did all transactions anonymously through Bitcoin, people used it primarily as a marketplace to trade mind-altering substances. Ulbricht was an advocate for individual liberty and a true enemy of the state who not only operated for profit, but to send a message. But the website did prohibit items that caused harm, like weapons of mass destruction or things that would harm children. The website launched in February 2011. Then a few months later in June, Gawker published an article about the site, which dramatically increased its traffic, but also drew the attention of law enforcement. Throughout its 2.5 years of operation, over 100,000 buyers participated, generating 183 million in sales volume, with 13 million of that being commissions going to Ulbricht, all conducted in this relatively unknown.
Yeah, I mean, they were happy customers because the reality is, if people want to have a lot of people buy their product, they make sure that the product is good, right? So it's kind of like when it comes to reviews, people had massive incentives to make good product. And the products were good. Some guy told me.
Cryptocurrency called Bitcoin, which was valued at about $10 per coin at the time. Things were going great, but there was all kinds of drama going on behind the scenes, and there were even allegations that Dread Pirate Roberts tried to hire hitmen to take care of his enemies, although Ulbricht was never convicted of these alleged crimes. When you look into it, the story is very complicated, and it looks more like an FBI informant tried to set him up, and one of the feds on the Silk Road case even went to prison for corruption. The bigger problem is that he was making a bunch of operational security mistakes that allowed law enforcement to find him. To understand these mistakes, you first need to know how to operate an illicit website on the dark web.
We watched a video about this. We watched a video about this.
Silk Road website itself was nothing special and is believed to use the LAMP stack, which includes PHP and MySQL, with a web server like Apache running on Linux. Now, normally to host a website, you point a URL to an IP address, but that's not going to work if you want your service to be anonymous and untraceable. And that's where the Tor browser and Onion services come in. The Silk Road could only be viewed in the Tor browser because it was hosted via Onion services and only accessible through the Tor network, distinguished by a .onion domain, which provides an overlay network on top of TCP/IP to hide the service's location and provide end-to-end encryption and authentication. Communication between the client and server is broken up between relays in the network, making it virtually impossible to know the identity and location of the client or server. If your website needs this feature, you can easily accomplish this by installing the Tor package on your server, then create a Tor config file that points to your service. Restart Tor, and that'll automatically generate your Onion address. And now you can access your website on the Tor network anonymously. It's pretty cool, and Ross would have gotten away with it if he were a little more careful. Like in the early days of the Silk Road, he accidentally used his real name in an online forum post promoting the site, and he even used Stack Overflow just like the rest of us. He also reused the username Altoid, which was eventually tied to his Gmail account. In addition, Bitcoin itself is a public ledger by design, and only pseudo-anonymous.
That is crazy, guys. I remember the video about this. That is insane.
Tied to his Gmail account. In addition, Bitcoin itself is a public ledger by design and only pseudo-anonymous. That's why modern criminals and privacy advocates prefer coins like Monero. But the silliest mistake is that the real IP address for the server was accidentally leaked in the website's CAPTCHA. That led the feds to a server in Reykjavik, Iceland, but some developers find this highly sus because there's really no error that could leak an IP address in a CAPTCHA. And the conspiracy theory is that the FBI used some...
Really, dude? Really? That kind of sucks. Chat. Guys, it's some hero story of what an FBI super hacker on the inside finds a crack through the system or some shit like that. And they what an American hero, and it's just some fucking bullshit that they pulled or whatever, and they mastermind some bullshit.
Secret high-tech tool that they don't want anybody to know about. But at this point, they had enough evidence and arrested him on October 1st, 2013, at a public library in San Francisco. They distracted him and were able to arrest him without him closing the laptop while he was logged in to the Silk Road's admin panel. And get this, they found a wallet with 144,000 Bitcoin.
What?
On that laptop. At the time, that was only worth a measly $28 million, but at today's prices would be worth $14 billion. At this point, the feds had a slam dunk case, and eventually he received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Now, not many people argue that what he did was good and he shouldn't go to prison. But
Dude, if I knew my recovery password and the feds came in on that, bro, I would lay down my fucking life to close that laptop. Are you kidding me? Guns out, fucking, I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking jumping that fucking laptop. I don't give a shit. Are you kidding me?
But many people argue that his punishment was too harsh. Murderers and violent criminals often get far lighter sentences, and Trump chose to pardon him because he believes he was unfairly burned at the stake, not for causing harm, but for being a heretic to the deep state. It's a highly controversial pardon, and people have mixed feelings, but one thing's for sure, the Joe Rogan-Ross Ulbricht interview is going to be an absolute banger. This has been The Code Report. Thanks for watching, and
Hold on.
deep state. He believes his punishment was too harsh. Murderers and violent criminals often get far lighter sentences, and Trump chose to pardon him because he believes he was unfairly burned at the stake, not for causing harm, but for being a heretic to the deep state. It's a highly controversial pardon, and people have mixed feelings, but one thing's for sure, the Joe Rogan-Ross Ulbricht interview is going to be an absolute banger. This has been The Code Report.
So who has the wallet? The FBI? Because what if some guy, chat, could they not have like a failsafe where like one of his friends knows the recovery password or something like that? Like the phrases, and then as soon as something goes wrong, I mean, no way that the FBI, as soon as they got it, they transferred all funds automatically. They probably fucking did, let's be honest.